What's up, guys? K Roos here to do a video giving you guys my thoughts and some predictions on the new X-Men movie, X-Men Days of Future Past. It's supposed to premiere on May 23rd. And I gotta say, I'm really excited for this movie. Ever since I saw the first trailer, I was really interested in this movie. And, as the trailers went on, and I just read some information more with the comic books with Days of Future Past, and the storyline really looks interesting. And this movie really looks like it has the potential to be on the level of that of X-Men First Class and X-Men 2 United. Because in my opinion, those two films are the best one from the X-Men franchise. More so X-Men First Class. That was a really good X-Men movie. Michael Fassbender as Magneto, he was just awesome. He killed it. And now, like the cast from the X Men trilogy, and along with the cast of First Class, are joining together, and I really think this movie has potential to be on that level, to be very good. And now I know some people think that maybe this movie should be in two parts, like part one and part two. And I think about it, and it could be, but I think that they would do a good job with just one movie with Days of Future Past, because we know, like in 2016, I think we're supposed to get the X-Men Apocalypse movie, so we're gonna look out for that in the future. But going back with this movie, you guys know what it's about. In the future, the Sentinels are not only just hunting down mutants; they hunt down regular people, regular humans with no abilities. And I guess it's just to the point where they've evolved to the point where they believe that they don't need anybody else. And it's a war that nobody wins, because the Sentinels were created to, fight against the mutants. And but however, I guess when time goes by, they just figured, hey, we don't need, you know, these people. We can rule on our own. And so what Charles Xavier does, he comes with a plan to send Wolverine back 50 years into the past by using Kitty Pryde's powers to send his consciousness back to his younger body. And he has to convince the young Charles Xavier and young Magneto to work together in order to stop the future from happening and to end the war before it ever begins. I'm really looking forward to the fight scenes in this movie, especially with the future cast, of course. Seeing Colossus, Warpath, Sunspot, Bishop, just all these guys going ham against the Sentinels, because the Sentinels aren't human. They can go all out using their powers, and that's what people wanted to see for so long. But we didn't really get to see that a lot. I mean, they would use their powers, but it'd be against other mutants or sometimes humans. But here, we just see them go 100%. Colossus, I'm really looking forward for him fighting him, and I think Warpath too, because we haven't seen much of him fighting, but I think his scenes, because I think he's supposed to be like super strong, vulnerability, and I think he can fly. I'm not sure, but it looks a lot good. Oh, and Iceman too. I'm looking forward for him as well, because Iceman, we saw from trailers that he's able to use his powers to glide around, and that's awesome, because that's one trademark from Iceman, and we didn't really get that since in the movie trilogies. But finally, see Iceman hone his powers, using them to freezing Sentinels. This looks great. And speaking of the Sentinels, I think the designs for the Sentinels for the Mark 1 to the Mark X are not that bad. I mean, I know a lot of people are expecting like the comic book versions of the humanoid ones, but I just kind of think about it. I'm like, they would look kind of goofy if you guys think about it, if they did that. And I know that X-Men 3 Last Stand, they did hinted that possibly, like, because they were in the Danger Room, and then you saw the head of like a Sentinel. But I don't know. I like the designs. I mean, I think that the Sentinels could be bigger, but they still look menacing, especially the Mark X. They look stealthy. They look like they can kill. They're hunters. So I think it'll work out. I'm not really disappointed with that at all, with the Sentinels. Um, as far as the story goes, I guess what's going to happen is, Wolverine, of course, he goes to the past. And I think with Magneto is that when he finds out about what happens in the future, he's going to try to reprogram the Sentinels along with Mystique, because Mystique, we see she does infiltration, I guess, for Magneto. And that, we see this is the start of her, really be, like the real spy, the hand-to-hand combat. We saw some action scenes from like trailers 2 and 3, and the first trailer as well. So that's be good to see Mystique in action. And I think what how it went, because we saw Magneto use his powers against the Sentinels, so he's probably going to unleash them upon regular people. But the thing is, he doesn't understand is that it doesn't matter, because in the end, they're just going to hunt everybody else down. So I think like the two people that they're gonna try to convince is the president and Paul Trask, the one who created the Sentinels. And as long when it comes to the future side, I think what they're gonna do is that one by one the X-Men are gonna fall, and they're gonna try to save each other. And when like Charles Xavier might be the last one, and then when as soon as he dies, like then the timeline changes, and then it's like a new future. So that's probably something like that's gonna happen. But I'm really looking forward to seeing the dialogue between young Charles Xavier and the future Charles Xavier. That should be very interesting. Because X-Men, they're noted for different like dialogues between characters such as Charles and Magneto. So that should be very good. But I hope they don't do too much talking, because that'd be a little bit too much. Because I know a lot of people want to see the action, the fights, and I hope we get to see Wolverine use his adamantium claws against Sentinels before he goes back to the past. Um, and also, why the reason why I said I think that might happen with the X-Men dying one after the other, because in Storm we see her, she sacrifices herself. I think that's what she's gonna do, and she's probably gonna fight her Sentinels. Probably not to do a lot of moving around, because we know like Halle Berry, she was like pregnant during the film, and they said it was challenging, but they said that she did a good job. So hopefully she'll use her powers against the Sentinels in her last stand, and then maybe she does die. I don't know. But I think that does happen, because even if they die, then the timeline's going to change, and all the characters are going to be back, alive, because it's going to be a whole different timeline. But they do have to explain a few things. One, with the fact that young Charles Xavier, he can walk with his legs. I don't know if he's wearing like crutches, or like if Hank had helped him out, because we saw Hank is in his human form. He's not in his beast form. So maybe he is something. I don't know. Some people say it's like the Hulk. I think if he gets angry, or he could change into well. I don't know, but it's good to see Beast back as well. A lot of these characters, see, if that's what they need to do more with the X-Men franchise. They need to make more characters the more points, because I know Wolverine, he's the franchised character, but they need to focus more, a lot more characters. So, like that's why a lot of people complain about the trilogy. Characters like Cyclops and Storm don't really get that much love. But I think this movie though does have a lot of potential. We see different characters going back and forth. Um, I think this movie once again has potential to be a very good movie, and on the level of that of First Class. I'm really excited to see it. And yeah, so let me leave your thoughts down below. What you think about this movie, the trailers, any predictions you guys have, what you like about it, some disappointments you had, any feedback, leave down below in the comment section. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace and have a good night. Yeah, have a good night, because it's like 10:30 p.m. here, New York. Peace.